Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here is a guy who needs so many accomplices. I am Rob's sister, Nina. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's Big Brother premiere night, and what a night of surprises and mysteries we have, and so much to break down. We're so happy to have you here with us for another season of Big Brother here on Rob Has a Podcast. And back in 2010, I first podcast my first season of Big Brother, and it was a season with Rachel Riley. And here we are 15 years later, right back where we started, baby, as Big Brother 27 is here. And we have so much to talk about here with a man who is just getting his summer started. It's the incredible author of a great selling book. It's Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
Rob, I have deep shame because
why?
I did not come to this podcast prepared with a red wig. And
what? Do you have wigs? You've never worn a wig on the podcast.
Well, no, but I've never been able to podcast about Rachel Riley on Big Brother. So if I had, I would surely have a red wig to wear.
Welcome to the club. Yeah, so Rachel did what? Big Brother 12 and Big Brother 13, and it feels like she's played more since then, because I think she's done 3 seasons of The Amazing Race and so many other programs, and of course The Traitors since then. But this is really it, that she hasn't played Big Brother since then.
She hasn't. She really should have been on All Stars, but
she should have been on All Stars.
Did not work out with timing.
Yes. Okay.
And pregnancy got in the way.
Yes. Okay. And of course, Taran is riding high this week because the book is doing incredibly well.
Yes, thank you. If you haven't heard, I wrote a book about Big Brother called Behind the Mirror. I'm very excited about it. We just launched the pre-orders. You can go and pre-order one now. It would be very cool if you did.
Okay. All right. Well, we got to talk to the voice of the people last night. She's back after the draft. Melissa Deni is here. Melissa, how are you? I'm muted. Oh.
Got her
off to a great start.
Yes. Tried to mute the voice of the people.
You'll never mute the voice of the people.
It was the mastermind.
Which one of us is the accomplice?
Yeah, someone here
Reveal
is
yourself.
the accomplice. No, I'm doing so great. I'm so excited for the new season. I'm so excited to be back. This is very exciting. I was shocked by the end twist. So I felt like I already knew what was coming, and then I did not know at all.
Nope.
So yeah.
Nobody knew.
Exciting.
Yeah. Okay. We will talk about the identity of the accomplice in so much more in just a moment. But first, here with us for the first time in Big Brother, of course, our great friend, Aysha Welch is here. Aysha, how are you?
Hello, I am doing well. I'm very excited to be here. I was really excited for this season to start because I just can't wait to talk about it. I can't wait for feeds. It feels like all is right in the world. I, for one, was very shocked to see Rachel on our screens, right? Worst kept secret, right? No?
Yeah, it really started to heat up. Earlier in the week, I think that there was talk with Tucker, Angela, but as the days went on and the clues came out, that it really did start to look more and more like Rachel Riley would be the 17th house guest. But wait, actually, what the hell? What Rachel is actually not the 17th house guest, is actually the 16th house guest, and then a different person is a faker? Is it an accomplice? Yes. Are they Ainsley? Are they a real person?
So there's 15 regular house guests.
Yes.
There's one Rachel and one accomplice. Rachel was added before the accomplice because the accomplice's final task was adding Rachel to the cast. And so now the accomplice has officially become the 17th house guest. Rob, it seems pretty simple to me.
I still have Rachel in the draft, right?
Is there a way I can say no and it
no,
be
that's not up for debate. That is not up for debate. Okay. We have so much to discuss here tonight, and we're so happy to have you here with us. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast because we have so much stuff coming your way. Well over 100 podcasts coming your way here on this massive season of Big Brother. So make sure you're subscribed to RHAP wherever you listen to podcasts, robhasawebsite.com, Of course, we know Big Brother, and on YouTube, RHAP. All right. I want to start off with the question of the hour, because I do have a feeling that maybe this could get cracked by the internet sleuths. Of course, we may find out sooner, and they'll say, "Well, Rob, how did you know?"
And how do I find out? Twitter.
Yeah, that's how I find out. Who is the accomplice? Let's start to crack this case right now.
Is this one of those things where they're like, oh, they helped me turn off the lights and do this stuff, but it's really like they actually didn't do anything. They were just like an quote unquote accomplice, but they didn't actually like get up and like turn on the lights.
I bet they had to do something.
There will be some like B-roll of them when everyone else is in lockdown, like flipping some switches. Probably is I think the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I was thinking that so with the lights, I rewound the tapes and I went and looked and everybody's sitting down.
Yes.
So I think it's, like Taran is saying, somebody pressed the button to start the countdown, which leads me to believe that it would be someone that's in that first group who walked in the house first to start.
Did we see the first countdown after the first group went in? Because if that's true, then I think you're right that like it would have started after they came in. Taran said there's going to be some B-roll of them like starting the clock or whatever.
Yeah,
I could have sworn the timer was ticking when the first people came into the house, because that Kelly, Amy, Zach, and Adrian come into the house, and I have in my notes then a timer is ticking.
Okay.
That won't necessarily stop them from showing B-roll footage of them starting the
Sure. Okay. Let me start with my first theory. Okay. If I can open up this discussion, I'd like to say that I think that the accomplice must be a woman. And my reason for that is that we add Rachel to the cast. Now we have 9 women in the house, only 8 men. If the accomplice was to be revealed and it was a man, would we start the season with 9 women and 7 men?
Wouldn't hate it.
Well, okay. Wouldn't they? Sure. There's plenty of reasons.
Okay.
But would the producers of Big Brother make a season that had 9 women and 7 men to start?
I mean, like, what's the chance that it's just Rachel? Like, you know what I mean? It's like she's just the accomplice and it doesn't really mean anything. And it's just kind of like, nope, she's the accomplice.
No, it can't be Rachel.
It can't be Rachel because I think that'd be too on the nose. Also, did you look at Rachel's face when the masked man said, Rachel is not the 17th house guest? She looked like, are you serious? Like, what are you talking about?
I dressed up and everything.
So, all right. Are we able to work within my theory that the accomplice is a woman?
We can, but I have another theory.
Yes.
I do think it's the best logic that we have currently. But maybe Aysha will convince me otherwise.
Yes, Aysha?
Okay. I unlike the 3 of you, right? I didn't do the draft, right? So I did not do pre-prep on these people. I just said, I'm going to take what I get on the episode, on the premiere. But of course, social media plays clips from different interviews and stuff. And the wildest person who had the wildest answers that I saw were Adrian. No, wait, not Adrian. What am I saying? Yeah, it wouldn't have been Adrian because that's... No. It was Adrian. It was Adrian.
Best Big Brother player of all time.
The biggest Big Brother player. He will play the greatest game you've ever seen. Like, who talks like that? He could just be a quirky guy, but I think
he could be.
To come in with that type of confidence, like I can just say whatever because I know I'm part of the twist.
Yeah.
That's something.
Here's a question that I have about all this. Last year we had Ainsley came into the house. Now, the woman who came in as Ainsley was also not a real person. So this was a fake person. Can we presume that whoever is the accomplice was an actual person who wanted to be on Big Brother, and then a la Eric Stein in Big Brother 7, they came to them and said, hey, we have a twist. You're the accomplice, and do this, or you're off the show, and we'll go to somebody else.
Yes,
do we
I think
presume that's correct?
What I think.
I think
so.
Yeah.
What better person to go to than the man with the wall comp in his backyard?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of those people, like, so I feel like the second the Ainsley person came on, it was like, that's an actor. But I feel like that these people, I believed them in their preseason interviews. Like, they were not like acting. They didn't have a script. They were being genuine in their interviews. And it's possible that they were just like, yeah, just be yourself and then you'll be an accomplice. But like, I don't think they hired an actor. I think that these are all legit people who are trying to be on the show, and then they just happen to.
Can I give you another suspect?
Yes.
Okay, yes,
okay.
Please.
All right. What do you think of Ava as the person who is the accomplice?
It's a flashy pick.
Yeah. I also think, and I know a lot of people pay attention to that, the BIPOC representation on the show. Would they be so flippant as to make potentially lose another person of color from the cast? You think that they would play like loosey goosey?
Just to be clear, the diversity initiative is no longer a mandate. In case nobody knows this,
was not met.
Yeah, apparently it was. You can very much tell. The Morgan. The only thing is Morgan. That's her name, right? Now I'm getting confused. Okay, I was like, wait,
Morgan is a big suspect though for me.
To me now too, because now I'm thinking back through all their confessionals and everything. Hers were definitely the most.
I'm a gamer. I'm not going to tell people.
Yeah,
also,
and then she said, I'm also like keeping secrets or whatever. She said something like that. Like, I'm a mystery. She said that in her confessional. Like, I could absolutely see her being like, see guys, I told you I was a mystery. Like, now I'm thinking it's Morgan. I think it's Morgan.
Also, I think somebody who lives in Los Angeles, also very likely to have been the person. And Morgan, Taran, as you talked about, very successful Twitch streamer. What the hell does she need this for? Why is she? She's not even a big Big Brother fan. Why is she here?
Solved it. Mystery solved.
She seems very polished. Like I was thinking about that. Polished. I was thinking about that in all their confessionals. I'm like, these people are not set up to be like, oh, and then the da-da-da-da-da, which is why it sounds so like corny and like rehearsed, because it's like, oh, that's not typical. But Morgan's DRs are like, they feel authentic. I believe her, so I think you're onto something.
I do think that Morgan is a good pick if they're looking for somebody that is going to be able to like deliver the right kind of performance. But I have another suspect.
Yes.
Hear me out. Rob, I'm following your logic that it's more likely to be a woman and perhaps also more likely to be somebody who is a big fan of the show. Got a little more leverage over them to do this. What about our resident as a super fan, Lauren?
I feel like that she was so under edited when she got into the house. Like, I kind of feel like that whoever it is, I think that we probably I would guess they're in the top 5 of confessionals given tonight.
And how do I find out? Twitter.
How did you do that? I saw your hands, Rob.
Believe it or not, it's an accident.
It was so perfect.
I thought you did it.
And how do I find out?
It was the saboteur.
Yeah. It was the accomplice. Who is it? Come out. The mastermind. So I don't know, maybe as we go through talking about all this, we'll find out more about it. I think that there's also a world where somebody who wants to be on the show so badly that they come to them and say, hey, how you really want to be on the show? Guess what? We're giving this to you.
That's why I think Adrian.
Yeah.
People are also saying it was actually Lauren who answered the phone.
It was, but I saw them mouthing what Julie was saying. So it almost seems as if it was played out loud and not just on the phone. Yeah. But maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Well, all right. We have an accomplice. Also, we have not spent enough time talking about Rachel Riley is here. We opened the show talking about it. Taran, I know you must be pumped up to see typically that returning house guests, one returnee in a house of newbies, not always met with a positive reception, but I think people are excited.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be clear because I have been talking about this a little bit, and I keep saying like I'm like pumped for like my friend Rachel, who's a great person and is super excited to be on the show, and then I feel like I'm getting responses of people who are like, I disagree with you. It's like, hold on. I do I want it to be in this format where there's like a winner of the show coming back with a full cast of new players? No, I would have preferred her to be on All Stars. But I am super pumped to see Rachel because Rachel, like if people don't know this about Rachel, she played the game obviously twice, season 13, 12 and 13. She never left the community. She has been an avid, passionate fan ever since. She has been, coming on to podcasts. One of my very early podcasts in season 17 was with her, and she was super nice. That was back in the days when like people didn't do podcasts, like she wasn't doing our podcast to promote her podcast. She was doing it because she loved the show.
Right. I think that Rachel Riley is probably, if you went through like the all-time like guest appearances on Rob as a Podcast, I think she may also be like a top 5 Rob as a Podcast appearance person.
Yeah.
As far as like reality stars go.
And she really wanted to do it. When she couldn't do All Stars because she was pregnant, she was like, but what if? What if it doesn't matter? Like, what if I'm pregnant and it's fine? Like, she loves this game. She loves this show. And I'm so like over the moon that she gets to come back and play again, because I think that it'll be really fun to watch her. I also think that for what it's worth, it has been quite a while, like something like 15 years since she's played the game. And I think that she has really like changed as a person, not like changed, but she has, I think, become like smarter in terms of game analysis. She's really like studied things. We saw her on the Traders, and I thought that was like such an interesting distilled version of Rachel that was still over the top and exciting, but also a little more game savvy than you're maybe used to. And I think that that's really cool, and I'm excited to see what she does.
I'd love to talk a little bit about the historical context of Big Brother when we bring back one person who's played before in a house full of newbies. And so we certainly have Jesse in Big Brother 11, and we have Paul in Big Brother 19. Am I missing another time when that happened? We had the coach. We've had like 4.
Right.
But I think those
just
are only
one player. Yeah, I think those are.
Sorry, I mean, but you can't.
Yeah, and I guess Suri to some degree is a similar. I mean, Aysha, how do you think this is going to go with Rachel being the one veteran in a house full of all new players?
I think the confessional, like all the DR sessions, were like a very clear sign about how excited they were. Like there was a minority of people, mainly Jimmy, who were like, "Oh my gosh, like we should be terrified. Like why are y'all so excited?" So I think that if she can get in enough to where people are starstruck enough to like just want to be around her, I think there are enough fans on this cast for that to help her and her not to like I think it'll be harder to turn those people into like, no, Rachel has to go in the beginning. So I think it could fare well for her in the beginning part of the game of them just like still like, oh, I still can't believe I'm in a house with Rachel.
Yeah.
And I think her recent appearances help in like relevancy. Like it had in their minds, it's not like 15 years ago, like you said, Taran, like with her being on the Traders, I feel like that left people wanting more of Rachel.
Yeah, and if we go back to even Paul in Big Brother 19, the people who were like the vocal people against Paul early were people that it did not go well for them. They ended up being very targeted early. Yeah, and we saw Jimmy talking about how like, why are you excited? Why are you happy? Like everybody should be afraid that Rachel is here. Melissa, do you think that Jimmy is going to be a problem for Rachel and perhaps vice versa?
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that, I guess. I think that like it's going to be interesting to see how this goes because I feel like first of all, I'm so excited to have Rachel in the house. I like Taran said, like I wasn't podcasting, first of all, when Rachel was playing, number one. And number two, I wasn't
A lot
even
of our
watching.
podcasters weren't born the last time Rachel was playing Big Brother.
Ew, don't say that.
That can't be true.
Don't. That's yeah, that's
Look it up.
definitely can't be true. No, that's so wrong. But also, like, I wasn't watching live feeds at the time. So I feel like I'm very excited because I've never seen Rachel on the live feeds, and it's going to be so fun to watch, and because it's fun to watch people who love the game and who are like big fans of the game and who are like excited to be there and want to play, and Rachel is definitely that. So I'm very excited about that, but I think you're right. It already looked like Jimmy was, even not just in his diary room session, but like when he was like confronting her on the couch, not like confronting, but just kind of being like, well, where were you? You were in the HOH room, weren't you? Or whatever. And it's like, he already was about to go at it. So I think that's going to be an interesting dynamic for sure.
Is it worthwhile to just give sort of a reset of who Rachel is as a player for people who may not have seen her? Aysha, is that possible? Do you think that there are a lot of people watching Big Brother 27 that may have never seen Rachel play?
Oh, very possible. It's a trend going around on TikTok right now that new Love Island fans are coming over to see what Big Brother's all about. So they probably were like, who is this?
Yeah.
Why? I hope they do give like a short little history lesson for people at least. Did they say that the Friday episode is starting this week or next week?
I don't believe. Yeah, I think next time.
Okay. So yeah, I think it is. I think it is important for people to know this is the Rachel Riley. I know that there was a brief like, okay, she was on season 12, she won season 13, but they don't know her essence. They don't know that she is like the competition beast that she is. Like they don't know that she says what's on her mind.
Rachel, as a player is extremely competitive. Will be going for, if she was in that HOH, she would have been going for it. She would not have been one of these people trying to throw it. So she is a challenge beast and a threat to win every single comp that she is in. Also, Taran, she does not mince words, that she is not confrontational for the sake of being confrontational, but if she has an issue with somebody, she's not going to keep it a secret.
Yeah, I mean, the thing to know about Rachel is that she was introduced to the show in season 12 as this bombastic character who got into a showmance very early with future husband Brendan, and like every time someone got evicted, she would leave them goodbye messages saying, "No one gets between me and my man." And people were like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, why are you like this?
And when Julie says pre-season of Big Brother 27 that it's a polarizing character, it felt a little weird to think of Rachel as polarizing, but it is true. Back in the day, Rachel was pretty polarizing.
Very
in Big Brother
polarizing.
12, she had a lot of haters because she was too over the top and too dramatic, and people really thought she was just kind of like. I mean, the thing is that even I would say even her haters have to agree that she was good TV, that she was a either like somebody that you loved to watch or that you like hated to or loved to hate, I guess I would say. She caused drama. She got into a bunch of fights. She won a bunch of competitions between her and Brendan. She was evicted, but then came back via a mini saboteur twist and caused some more chaos. And then they brought her back a season later with Brendan again as vets. And she was the same Rachel, only this time she had the backing of the vets and a bit more cachet in the house, won even more competitions, and did take away a fairly controversial win, but ultimately cemented herself, and Jimmy said it, and we confirmed it in the Big Brother Retrospective off-season podcast series, that she is on the Mount Rushmore of Big Brother. And she then went on to play on The Amazing Race multiple times, made her a star of herself there as well. So she's just phenomenal TV is kind of the bottom line.
Okay. And so she will give us also very fun feeds as well.
Yeah. Can I just say, I was 18 when Rachel played the first time in 2010. And now I'm 33. Me and Taran are 33. birthdays are close.
Yeah.
For those that don't know.
Just to explain.
Yeah.
Just to explain.
How lucky are we that we are living in a time where these people that we grew up watching when we were in such a different place in our lives, that we can continue to see them on reality television because they just knew what they were doing back then with casting gold, like getting to see like Danielle Reyes, getting to see Brittany Haynes again. Now we're getting to see Rachel again. And like, obviously there's the survivor lane of it all. But it's just like getting to see these people play again in whatever capacity. And now getting to see Rachel in this new era. It's going to be a completely different Rachel, I believe, still competitive, but just like she's a mom now, like this is a new evolved Rachel that we get to watch. So how lucky are we that we invested ourselves in a show that like just paying off years later? It's amazing.
Yeah.
You do a good job. Okay.
I'm very excited. I totally agree. Although I was thinking to myself, I was like, 2010. I swear I thought I was like a kid when I saw Rachel play. I was not. I was 20. I was like, man, I was so young. And then I'm thinking like, actually, I was not that young. Okay.
Yeah.
It was the summer of after my high school graduation, Big Brother 12.
Was it? Okay, so after Rachel played, Brendan worked at UCLA at the like hospital there, I think.
Yep.
And I saw that I was going to UCLA at the time and I saw them in the Trader Joe's parking lot. And I was like, should I say something? And I didn't say anything because I was too nervous. But that's my big story is I saw them in the Trader Joe's parking lot.
Okay.
In Westwood.
Well, Rachel becomes our 17th player of the season that we found out about. Whether or not she's 16th or 17th house guest, we'll leave that to Wikipedia to tell us. But that there were hints that were coming out about Rachel Riley's appearance here on Big Brother, but perhaps the earliest came this winter when Rachel herself, right here on Rob Has a Podcast, gave us a huge clue that none of us put together at the time. Sam, do you have the clip ready to go? Here we go. Here's Rachel Riley appearing with Puya and me on talking about the traitors.
Well, I just did the Worst Cooks of America, and then I'm working in casting, and you never know. You'll be seeing me soon on another show.
Is that an exclusive? Are you dropping that? Or
sure, I know for sure. So you will be seeing me soon on something else.
What's left that you haven't done?
Okay. Maybe it's doing something else again. I don't know. You never know. There's plenty that I haven't done though.
Wow. Okay. All right. My mind is blown. Okay. Rachel, what's coming up for you? My mind was blown.
It
was right there.
Exciting. Wait, did you?
How did we miss that?
Yeah, did you at all suspect Big Brother? Or
no.
Why?
Okay, what are they? Why would they randomly bring Rachel Riley back?
That's so funny.
I think the biggest thing is the idea that she'd know for sure that much.
Yeah,
that far
I don't know.
Casting is usually way more annoying about confirming things.
Okay,
not with Rachel Riley.
Not with Rachel. Okay, so. Rachel Riley is here, and let's see where this all goes. Let's talk about everything else tonight. We got to see our 16 house guests move in, and we can talk through the night. We talked through everybody yesterday. Aysha, we didn't get to talk to you on the Big Brother draft. Who were some standouts for you?
Yeah, so I know we talked about Morgan at the beginning, but I think that if she doesn't overthink this game, I think she can do really well. I could see a lot of people not. I could see a lot of people, because she's going to present herself as a mystery. I could see a lot of people not, estimating her correctly. So maybe underestimating her. Actually, I like Ava too. She made me bust out laughing during the episode when she was like, he was like, "Oh, do you want to play for HOH?" She's like, "No, I think I'll sit this one out." Like it was just like a choice. Mm-hmm. She seems fun. I want to learn more about Mickey. I think it's so funny that Ashley has this long-term relationship with Hannah Chada, like known each other since preschool. So it felt like I was seeing like elements of Hannah, just like if you grow up in the similar places, you have shades of each other. Let me see about the guys. Zach seems like a handful. I
Why a
want to learn.
handful?
He just seemed he hugged Julie. Was she expecting that?
I think we called that Zach was going to be Julie's favorite from the start.
Well, like that was a tight embrace.
We know Julie likes to start with air hugs. That would definitely.
Right.
That was COVID.
That was COVID, no more. I think Zach is going to be somebody like he reminds me of Matt, where it's just like Matt from last season.
Matt.
Where right. Where it's just like he thinks that everybody is feeling him the way that he's feeling himself. So I think it'll be interesting, like once things calm down, maybe if he is a little bit more, I don't know if he like as charismatic as he thinks he is.
Well, according to his boss, he's a simp.
I can see that.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Okay. Well, we found out about some people looking for showmances and who was going to try to avoid showmances. A lot of family members said don't get showmances. But yeah, as Taran mentioned, Zach's boss tells him,
you cannot simp over any girls when you enter that house.
Who is this boss?
Yeah.
What
hi. Can I get HR? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
my
not
boss just told me don't simp in the brother house.
And he immediately did within the first 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
But well, Aysha, maybe the boss knows him pretty well. You know?
He was like,
it's like maybe this was like really good advice. It's like, hey, Zach, like, can I just give you one piece of information? Like, this is going to be a great opportunity for you. Just you know how you do that thing where you simp for every woman you meet after 5 minutes?
Just please don't.
How many women at work?
I remember, Rob, when you told me that great advice back in the day as well.
Taran, here's the thing. Do not, whatever you do, stop. Don't do it.
Don't do it, Taran.
Yes. Be aloof, I said to Taran. And that was like the first day he started. He's like, okay, I'll try it on. I'll see.
He's like, welcome to the podcast. Here's some tips. Don't be a simp.
Mm-hmm. So
10 years. The advice has done well.
Good advice.
Great job, Darren.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, I also want to point out Will, who is a sports podcaster for the Gamecocks, the South Carolina Gamecocks. If anybody follows me on Instagram, you know how much I love women's basketball. And so I just think it's amazing to see a man covering a women's sport. Don Staley out there, best college women's basketball coach. So I think that's a pretty cool job.
Yeah.
Just a regular guy with a podcast. That's what he says.
He's living the dream. Captain Will. Okay.
I feel like I was very impressed. Sorry. I just was going to say, I was a lot more impressed with Catherine than I was during the preseason. I felt like I really liked her.
That's why she's a top halfer.
Well, yeah, apparently that was a correct placement. But
yeah.
I really felt like I got to know her a lot better. And obviously I liked when she started out saying that she was a raging feminist. But I feel like she seems like she has a lot more personality than we saw in the preseason interviews. Same with Amy. She has a lot more personality than she did in the preseason interviews. I feel like her preseason interviews were a lot of just her being like, you know, I don't know how I'm going to do. I don't know. I might be good. I might be bad. And now I feel like she's a lot louder for sure. I mean, I felt good about her, but it seems like Kelly is kind of rubbed the wrong way a little bit.
Yeah, with all due respect to the team that put out the preseason interviews, I think that it's like maybe like the B and C team that just like ran through the preseason questions. And then I think we got like the A team producers like asking them the questions in the diary room for tonight.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because I thought Amy was a lot better also than what we were getting from her in the diary. She was like very lively.
Yeah. Definitely. And when she was talking with her family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Taran, anybody from your draft team that you were surprised positively or negatively by?
I was happy to see Lauren talking about being such a fan. She definitely does seem like she's going to be the person they constantly say, "Can you just say that again, but introduce yourself as a super fan?" But
she has an HOH robe, Taran.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So I was very happy to see that. I thought Ashley was everything that I was hoping she would be so far. I love that Ashley, apparently one of the few people who is willing to even be chosen to play in the HOH.
Yes.
Like, I get it. You don't want to be the HOH. I think that's still probably a mistake, but at least try to be chosen to play in the HOH. There's no downside. If you lose, you still get to look even worse at competitions, and you can make a deal and bond with the other people who are guaranteed to become HOH. Like, why are you telling me don't pick me? I was so annoyed, but I like that Ashley was willing to get picked.
What did you think, Taran, about that? We found out something about Ashley tonight that we didn't know in the preseason about her weakness will be a boy.
I think that's fine. I think people dramatically dramatize how bad it is to be in a showmance, how bad it is to like be connected to somebody. I think if she gets into a showmance, good. Like
you could have
she's got a
Zach
partner in the game.
simping for you. He'll win the veto. Give it to you.
Right. Like I don't think it's that big of a problem, honestly.
Yeah. Let me look through some of these other folks. We haven't talked about Mickey too much yet tonight. And Mickey came in and was a lot of fun. Although that Mickey did have a really interesting take about Riley.
Also, I'm clicking with Riley. He's giving a Brad Pitt Western cowboy, and I love that.
Whoa.
That was shocking.
All it is Beyonce is on her Cowboy Carter tour right now. Mickey is feeling inspired. That's what it has to be, because otherwise, I was so caught off guard.
Was Mickey also the person that talked about Drake?
She did say that she doesn't know what's going on. She said that maybe Drake dropped a new album.
Drake and Brad Pitt. She's really working.
Got her finger on the pulse. Yeah.
I just did not expect her, and him. I did not. I mean, if that ends up being a showmance,
especially after she said,
be
"You know how many men there are in Atlanta?
Right,
I didn't come here for showmance."
She was literally sitting there being like, "I am not going in here for a man. I don't need that. I have too many men."
Ooh, who's that? Riley.
Yeah, it's like the second she gets in the house, she's like, "Boom."
And then she wore his hat the whole premiere.
Yes,
oh my
and
God.
Aysha, Riley is open.
If a woman catches my eye, I'm human. What am I supposed to do?
What is he supposed to do? He's human.
Just naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if those two hit it off, that would be something to see. And hopefully they hold off until Sunday so we can just watch it naturally develop on the feeds. But
oh my God.
That's
that would be such a strange pairing. Although we have seen very strange pairings before. So, I would not. I say that's shocking, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Mickey's locks. I have to point that out. And yeah, if Riley, the guy who is really wants to meet Mr. Spectacular.
Yep,
that's who Mickey is. Simping for.
Look, he has a big heart. Right. Mickey or Riley. Was that a hint that Rachel Riley was coming? Please, could Riley be the accomplice?
Maybe it's Mickey.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Do you think that they get any extra money to be the accomplice? Other than they say you can't be on the show, what was in it for the accomplice?
I agree. The idea that they were like, you have to accomplish these tasks or you don't make it onto the show. First of all, that's not true. There's no chance that the lights were not going to go out. There's no chance that Rachel Riley was not going to join the game. But this idea that basically you've just chosen a player to be like, okay, so everything's the same except if everyone chooses that they don't like you in the beginning, you just leave. You don't even have a chance to win any competitions or anything.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what do you get?
Yeah, they didn't really talk through the mechanics of how this is going to work. How will the House decide who is the accomplice? Will there be like a vote on Sunday night of who is the accomplice? And everybody goes like, I vote to evict, sadly vote to nominate Keanu as the accomplice.
I think it'll be like Spool of Lies style, where like you go into the diary room and you're like, I think it's.
But Taran, that 16 or 17 different people are going to make a guess, and then if anybody gets it right, then the accomplice is out.
I think it has to be a majority, right?
Yeah, and I feel like they are strongly banking on they're just not going to get it.
They said the majority of the house guests?
No, I don't think we got a clear answer, unless I missed it.
I don't know.
I thought what she said was if the majority of them figure it out, then you're out. But I could be wrong.
But what they're going to love to do is that then, okay, they didn't figure out the accomplice. Then Julie is going to love that moment on eviction night where she's going to get to show them who the accomplice was. That's going to be a big reveal every week.
That's the thing about the accomplice, right? My thing about it is, for as much as we're trying to figure it out, the bottom line kind of is, and we may or may not get this, but like, you kind of just vote for the person that you don't click with the most, right? Like,
right.
It's like, well, if they are the accomplice and we get them voted out, great. If they're not, oh well, it's no skin off our backs. Like,
what if the accomplice is like your number one ally?
Exactly.
Like, why do I want them to leave? Like, I don't care. They turn the lights off. So what?
Unless I feel like the most impactful thing is if the accomplice is like taking money out of the $750,000.
Yeah, or like, and the thing is also like, are these tasks that the accomplice is doing? Are they going to be like things that you could actually catch them doing?
But is it ongoing, or is the mastermind having them do stuff all season?
I don't know, and I feel like it's like, if they aren't things that you could actively like either catch them doing or like have reason to suspect someone is doing it, like, I don't know how you would do it other than just a blind guess.
Well, I do think that there is some interesting Big Brother poetry in Rachel Riley coming back, because in Big Brother 12, Rachel Riley's original season, that the twist was the saboteur. And there was Annie, the saboteur, who was the first boot, who I believe was on the hammock with Brendan and Rachel, where that all got started. So it is interesting to have a saboteur-like twist be the season in which Rachel Riley makes her full circle return to Big Brother.
Very interesting.
And it was also a colossal flop.
Right. Which is why I feel like the things that the accomplice did were not things that they actually did. So it makes it impossible for them to figure out who this person is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's like no way that they would want this twist to flop and the person just go home. Like, I really think that they would want the person to become the 17th house guest. I feel like that's the big draw, is like, this person is this accomplice and now they're a house guest.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they want the 17th house? Because they get to have 2 double evictions. They don't have to have zombie week. Like, this is great.
Yeah, like if you think of like who would have been the like season 25, right? Who do they think is the accomplice? It's Kristen or Kirsten. It's the first boot, right? Who in season 24 do they think is the accomplice? It's probably Taylor. Who do they think in season 23 is like? I just think that like pretty much you're just going to all the person you're planning to kind of take out early anyway is the person you're going to think is the suspicious one that needs to be taken out, and you're probably going to vote for. So it's just hard to imagine a world where they're like, well, we all love this person and we all want to work with them, but I think they're the saboteur or the accomplice, so I guess we'll vote them out. Like, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, like, it can't be somebody with such a big personality, but it is somebody that we saw enough, which is why I do think it was like on the Morgan suspicion when she immediately explained what the accomplice was right after the thing. I mean, unless she just comprehends things really well. It was a lot of things happening at once. So it was fair of Jimmy to be like, wait, why did you do that? Or why do you know that?
Yeah, let's talk about some of the other house guests that we haven't spent too much time talking about so far. Jimmy, you just brought up Aysha. Jimmy had a big night. Looked like that he was on his way to being HOH before Vince ultimately won it. But Jimmy seems like that he's going to be a lot of fun.
He does.
Yeah.
He does seem like he's going to be a lot of fun. He could be a Reagan 2.0 for Rachel.
Oh, no.
As like her adversary. I do think it was an interesting choice to choose to play HOH, because why not just, I don't know. I just felt like the easy thing was to pick 4 people and say, hey, I'm picking you. So I really hope, like, I'm hoping for safety. And then you easily play the next week rather than, oh, I'm picking you and myself because I also want to win. And just like, it doesn't really leave the other 3 people. They don't owe you anything.
Yeah. And this is going to be a huge week for Jimmy, because I feel like that if he chooses to be the person who is the voice of the newbies, of the union leader who's going to like, hey, she's had her time. This is our time. We get all the first time players. Let's try to get Rachel on the block. I think that is going to be a mistake for Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he tries to get Rachel evicted, I think that's...
Hey, Vince, you owe me one.
It's just not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't think anybody's going to risk going after Rachel in the first week, especially with the BB blockbuster in play.
Yeah, that's also a good point, Taran, as we talked through so much last season, that it was something that is another competition in the Big Brother week. And now if you're going to put Rachel on the block, she has the chance to win the veto. She has the chance to win the BB blockbuster. And so it is going to be very hard to get Rachel out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that is a question, right? It has been upwards of 15 years. The competitions have changed since Rachel last played. Will Rachel be as competitive in the competitions, I think, is a fairly important question for her longevity in the game.
So I think that she will be a strong challenge competitor. I think that there's, not a lot of challenges that are, a, 100-meter dash or anything like that. A lot of the challenges are a little bit of like, okay, run back and forth. And Rachel is somebody who, in her time between Big Brother and The Amazing Race and all Traders and all these other shows, she has probably done well over 100 of these competitions. And now she's done it 100 times. But
not as many times as Adrian.
Not as many times, but he has Wall Comp Wednesday. But for everybody else, this is like their first competition, their third competition. So I just think that knowledge of like, okay, I know how to do this. I know like what this is, and I'm not feeling the pressure as much as some of these people. I think it's going to be a very big advantage for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but to that point that got us there, I do think Jimmy is the person that would be like, okay, Vince, hear me out. I'm just dropping this. What if we try to go for Rachel? And I think that's going to be his downfall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that it's like, I think what they're going to end up saying is like, Jimmy's playing too hard, too fast. He needs to go. He's, strategizing, blah, blah, blah. Like if he starts to try and do let's go after Rachel thing, I could see them turning it on him and just being like, he's playing too hard, too fast. If he waits a little bit and like builds bonds with people and whatever, and then tries to get out Rachel, I feel like that's a better strategy because, you're connected with people at that point and people trust you. Whereas in the beginning, it's like, hey, whoa, this is too much, especially because the first HOH is not going to want to make a big move. I mean, we really rarely see the first HOH make a really splashy move. Most of the time it's like, okay, who does everyone kind of not like? And then they just like boot them out.
We've talked about this before and very recently on Big Brother Canada, actually, when Anthony and Victoria came back in, that, when you have a returning player come into your cast, I think the strategy is buddy up to them as much as possible. Not to simp for them, as Zach might say, but to like just get through that initial burst of essentially what always happens, which is that the people who don't fall in line get targeted early on, and then use the fact that you're close to them to eventually target them and get them out of the game. Because it's going to be a lot more effective coming from you, one of their closest allies, saying we need to get this person out later down the line, than coming from you, who has been ostracized because you were not part of the group, because you have been beating on this drum since day one and nobody trusted you when you started to do it. Like you have to just buddy up to them as much as possible at first. It's just the way that things go in these games.
Yeah, really good point. Better to side up and work with Rachel and then go as far as you can. Now, ironically, Rachel did win her season as a returning player against a newbie. And maybe, though, we saw the next season that a newbie ended up beating a returning player in Big Brother 14. So we've seen it both ways. Maybe with all due respect to Portia, you know, that was not a newbie that they were ready to award the prize to.
I think it's tougher. Obviously, like 14, you saw that like the vast majority of that jury were all new players, and of course there were other circumstances. 13, a good amount of vets made it into the jury house, and so you have a much better chance of winning a jury vote if you get other vets in the jury house with you. This is a cast with no other vets. I do think that will be tough for Rachel. If she wants to win a jury vote, I think that is potentially one of her biggest hurdles. A returning player in this spot will usually make it toward the end. But can you convert it into a win? That is the tricky bit. And if in a full cast of newbies, that's going to be a bit harder than otherwise.
Returning player Paul also lost to a newbie in the final two as well.
Yes, with a full cast of newbies, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about some of these other players that we haven't talked about yet. The HOH, Vince, was somebody who I don't think he's a trust fund guy. I'll say it. I'll say it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We were debating
he's also
maybe
not destitute. I saw his parents' house look pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They got a ping pong table.
He has a perfect mustache.
Perfect mustache. Yep. And he is our first HOH, and we'll see how he wants to play this.
I mean, the way that they set it up, I will say, like edit-wise, was that Jimmy thinks he's going to be able to have influence over Vince, but he won't, because we got that diagram. Like, when I was watching live on Twitch, people in my chat were like, ooh, it kind of feels like they're setting Vince up to be the HOH based on that interaction, because he's the most interesting person to win at this point. And then he goes on to win. And that did feel like a little bit of a hint that like, maybe things are not going to be super great for Jimmy this week.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting how when Jimmy was like, okay, well, if it comes down to you and me in the end, and I give you a look, like, will you drop or whatever and give it to me? And Vince like paused for a second and is like, yeah.
Not believable.
I did not believe it 1 second.
Did not read as
no. And then like Jimmy's DR, like I thought he was gonna say like, yeah, I don't believe him, but he was like, yeah, I really believe Vince. He's very trustworthy. I think I can work with him. I was like, oh, he got him. Like I did not for 1 second believe Vince.
Right. He would have
I can totally see the world where the feeds come on Sunday night and it's Jimmy on the block because he tried to target Rachel and then the whole house turned on him. And then Vince starts talking and telling the story about how, yeah, Jimmy even tried to get me to throw HOH to him. Can you believe that? Like, I could see all of that happening for sure.
How about this, Taran? Okay, so Jimmy is not yet on the block on Sunday night when the feeds come on, but they have the power of veto, and the veto ceremony is happening in the morning, and Jimmy is going to be going on the veto on the block as a replacement nominee, and he's very sad about it.
Definitely
very likely.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see what happens with Vince. How about Keanu, my guy? And Taran, you and I talked the other day. I said, hey, Taran, what do you think? You think that Keanu's named after Keanu Reeves? We looked up how old is he? He's like, what is he? He's like 34. Like, well, like, I don't know. Keanu Reeves maybe only did Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Bill and Ted. I was like, man, it's weird
Excellent.
that I know of exactly 2 people named Keanu, and one of them is named after the other.
Yeah.
And he literally even quoted Bill and Ted like multiple times. So
That seems like a diary room forced on
I'm sure
him.
they're like, and then what do you say? Excellent.
Yeah. So, what do you think that maybe you found your Bill? I think Keanu was Ted.
I will say, people, we talked about how Keanu, like, maybe size-wise could be a little bit of like an Austin, right? A little bit of a Judas. And I will say that watching him bro down with Zay was giving me Shelltown vibes. It was giving me Jason Austin a little bit. I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay. Zay, we haven't talked about. I will put this out there that if the accomplice is one of the guys, I think Zay might be my number one suspect. That Zay is somebody who in the preseason was like not there for the game, was just there for the good times, was just there to be fun. And if anybody was going to come into the season to just like, for whatever reason, just be there to do pranks on the house, I think it would be Zay.
But does he have it in him? Like, does he, like, I don't know. I feel like
He's not Mormon anymore, Melissa.
Oh, that's so true. He's
drinking coffee now.
Yeah, coffee. That's intense. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
the mastermind convinced him to leave the Mormon religion.
Leave the church. Wow, it's been going for so long. I can't believe it.
Yep.
This mastermind's very powerful. I don't know. I feel like he could, but I just feel like, well, I guess it depends. It depends if they are having the accomplice actually do things, or if it's just really accomplice in name only, and you kind of are just like, look at me. I don't know if I see him being like that. I feel like they would want someone in the diary room to be like entertaining as the accomplice. Like, I feel like they'd want someone who could like really sell it. And
is that not Zay?
I don't know if he could sell it.
I don't either. I think he just seems like a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if I mean, because what did he say? Is he a salesman? Is that what
he is a salesman? Yes.
He saw them closing the door on it.
Aysha, do you know Sammy from Survivor 43? Have you met him?
I've met him.
Yeah, so Zay is very close friends with Sammy.
Yeah, they were cheerleaders together, right?
Yes, I think that Sammy, you could see him at Zay's house.
Yes, at the very beginning. I was waiting for that lower third to say Sammy in Survivor 43. We didn't get it.
No, they didn't give it to him. Yeah.
But yeah, Zay just he doesn't seem. I feel like it's easier to make a list of people that you think is not the accomplice, because that will just like narrow it down. And Zay was just
okay. You want to make who are the people that are not the accomplice? Let's go around until we run out of people. Aysha, you go first.
Will. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, not Will.
Okay, not Will. Will is not the accomplice. Yeah, I agree. Take him off the list.
Take him off. Remove him.
Okay. All right, Melissa.
I don't think it's Riley.
Riley is not. They can't trust him to be the accomplice. All right, Jimmy is not the accomplice.
I was gonna say, Jimmy, no.
Taran.
I don't think they'd make Zach the accomplice.
Okay.
I'm gonna go our HOH Vince.
Vince is not the accomplice. Okay, yeah. Would the accomplice win HOH? What would they do if they remove the HOH?
Yeah.
I don't
it doesn't make sense.
I don't think it's Amy.
Amy, not the accomplice. Okay. I'm going to say Catherine is not the accomplice.
Yes.
Too quiet.
Yeah.
Way too quiet.
Too quiet. Got anybody else, Taran?
I feel like we're starting to get to some good. I feel like it's not Adrian. I think that's too on the nose.
Okay. Aysha, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I still strongly feel it's Adrian, but it could not be. He could just be. That could just be him.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Mickey.
Mickey. Yeah, I don't think it's Mickey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
She did call Riley Brad Pitt, but
that's true. I don't think they'd want to lose her. Like, I think that they feel like she just seems like an important part of the cast. Okay.
Right.
I don't think Keanu is the accomplice.
No, yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I could actually see it be Keanu. I think he would like he'd have a whole separate voice for it. Be like,
yeah, that's a good point.
I have been the accomplice.
Yeah.
Well, okay. If we each have to pick who we think it is, like who do we think? I mean,
All right.
I think it's Morgan.
Let's lock it in.
Yeah, lock it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not Lauren.
Okay. Can I pick Morgan also?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I too will say the accomplice is Morgan.
I'll lock in Lauren.
Okay. You lock in Lauren, really? Well, someone we haven't mentioned or talked about.
Well, I'm not going to say Morgan. I think that's boring at this point.
Yeah.
But do you think it's Morgan?
Adrian.
I think Morgan is also up there.
It's Morgan. No, because now he gets 2 choices.
No,
look, I just wanted to be entertaining.
I threw Lauren out there. That's my pick.
Yeah. Okay.
My pick is Adrian.
Okay.
But if I have to pick a woman, I'm just going to pick potentially Kelly, but we didn't talk much about her.
All right, well, let's talk. This is an opportunity to talk about Kelly. Kelly, who was the first person who we got to meet tonight was Kelly. Was one of the first 4 house guests. If we want to go back to that theory of did one of the first 4 house guests touch the timer?
You know, I think Kelly, like, okay, the fact that like I was scrolling through the list of like people and I did not even like think about Kelly. Like, I didn't think to rule her out, but I also didn't think, yes, that's her. And so I mean, that to me could be a very good accomplice, is that it's just someone we're not even thinking about. And then that's the shock. You know, it's like you don't expect the small town girl or whatever, you know, that's probably what they're thinking.
She's so nice. She does goat yoga.
Exactly. And I mean, the one thing I would say is that like in her preseason interview, she was like, if I'm not seen as the hero, something has gone horribly wrong for me. And like, I don't know if she
now be the accomplice
would agree to like, be like, oh, I'll be the accomplice here and like be, you know, manipulative or mastermind or the accomplice or whatever. Like
But Melissa, would she go home? I mean, the producers come to her like, hey, so we got something for you. You know, Eric tells the story of like, he was in his hotel. They come in and they're like, hey, you're going to be America's player. And it's like, well, what if I don't want to? Then goodbye.
I mean, yeah, that's the question, I guess, is like, if they propose
Did Annie want to be the saboteur?
I feel like Annie did want to be the saboteur. Let's be real.
It's tough because I just feel like she would not want to agree to that. I don't know. She seems like
I think you can get them to agree to whatever you want them to agree to. But I do still feel like they're much more likely to pick someone familiar with the show, and she's very not familiar with the show. I don't think they would want to risk giving it to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, and just, you know, trips all over themselves. Which is why I feel like people like Lauren and even like people like Keanu, people who are like, I really like the show, I think they're much more likely to have this role.
We did see she only got that one confessional where she was saying that Amy was being really loud. And so I was like, she might have some trouble just socially if she thinks that in a house of 4, one person is too loud.
That was her big moment in the episode, was complaining about how loud Amy is.
It's not that loud in a small town of 50 people, I guess.
She's talking about how she's like traveling around in hostels. Like hostels, at least in my experience, very loud.
Also, I feel like Amy was just kind of being like, oh my God. And it's like a very exciting thing to like see the house, which, by the way, the house is like my favorite one they've ever designed. It's like
big upgrade.
So awesome. It looks beautiful. Like it looks like a house you'd want to stay in. It's very nice.
I want to invite the chat also. We're going to take some questions later on in this episode. So send your questions in the chat here on YouTube, and we will take them in just a little bit. We had 3 competitions in this episode, and I kind of was hoping that like when we moved from the live move-in, which we put up with because then there were night 1 feeds, but there were so many comps. They said, okay, well, we're going to go back to now a pre-taped premiere episode of Big Brother. And I was thinking that, okay, well, maybe it's going to be a little bit more like the classic move-in episode. We'll get to spend a little bit more time getting to know everybody, but still 3 competitions in 90 minutes.
I mean, at least they were like a little bit like better edited than normal for these live move-ins where it's like you just watch them do the little like balancing thing just like quietly for a while, like with no real like, and then the repeating music over and over again.
Right.
Like at least we didn't have that, but yeah,
it was more like akin to a normal Big Brother competition.
yeah, but
I mean,
obviously I missed the sitting around the couch, and then they start doing the sitting around the couch and
They
introducing
said,
themselves, and
boring,
it
yada yada.
like, shut up, stop talking, we're moving on. I was so disappointed because that's like my favorite part is when they each go around and then somebody says like, that guy's really hot, and then somebody says like, oh, that girl's annoying, or like, I'm shocked that girl's 40. Like I just love that sort of stuff. It's like we didn't get any of it, and that's classic Big Brother.
Yes, well, unfortunately, Melissa, all of the fun and merriment was interrupted when we got to meet this guy. It's the mastermind.
It's terrifying. Jump scare.
What the hell is this? The mastermind? Like, at least like Ainsley, okay, it's AI, there's a hologram. Okay, we spent some money. Well, did we just go to like Spirit Halloween and say, okay, what's on sale?
What's the most
What is this?
I feel like they're really starting to pull from like other contemporary reality shows. I think that
This is like what, Squid Game? What is this?
It's the Devil's Plan, Squid Game-esque, but yeah, a little bit of Devil's Plan in there as
You
well.
think somebody on Big Brother production watched the Devil's Plan, Taran?
I think that somebody did research, and I think they also put a little Mr. Beast in there with their little fake explosion on the Survivor Beach
and trapdoors.
I was so
and trapdoors.
confused. I looked at that. I'm saying, is this Fiji? But I see the Big Brother logo in the bottom. Like I sat there just kind of stunned, unsure of what just happened. Then I realized what they were trying to do. But that was Fiji, right?
I don't certainly looked like it.
Yeah.
So, okay. So the mastermind is like messing with, I just want to get the plot down. Okay. The mastermind is messing with the Big Brother house and kidnapping Julie Chen because why?
It's Ainsley.
Is it Ainsley? Is Ainsley the mastermind?
Revenge.
It does seem odd. I don't know.
There was an original sin, at least in the plot of Big Brother 26, that the houseguests did not vote Ainsley into the game.
The original.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What is the mastermind's beef with the Hotel Mystere?
It's the same sin. It's Ainsley coming back. She's hiding her identity.
It's the same sin.
Yeah.
Because it's already, we know Big Brother likes to do this, likes to set a theme, a strong theme at the start, and then just kind of strays. But this is where, like, okay, we're in a murder mystery. How did we get here to the man in the mask?
Yeah, like, I feel like that was just, I would say that was a little disappointing to me because when I heard it was going to be like a murder mystery, I was hoping for like more like Clue and less like horror, like Saw or something.
Jigsaw.
Like literally, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's really not like I was hoping for like fun mystery, like ooh, a whodunit, not this. And maybe they were trying to like stay away from traitors because I feel like there are a lot of similarities here with like the the house design and like all this sort of thing.
And Rachel,
and yeah, I just feel like it was it didn't quite vibe for me.
Yeah, there was a lot going on with the mastermind, and then there were these two competitions that we saw. One involved the kidnapping of Julie Chen Moonves, where only her glass slipper was left behind for the house guests to see. Now, I will say that this was odd, but it was all worth it for the reveal of Julie Chen Moonves in the backyard, rescued by Zach. What an iconic moment.
I loved this.
This freaked me out. This genuinely freaked me out. All of a sudden, Julie was in the house, and it was like if you put Julie in my living room, that would have felt more normal to me.
Yeah.
And then when she goes beyond that and like breaks the fifth wall and starts hosting from the middle of the house.
Yeah.
I was like, what? No. And then they came back from commercial and they had her on the screen behind her on the stage. Rob, it's too much.
It's just, so Taran, so was there precedent tonight said that had Julie ever been in the house in 27 seasons?
Not during a season, I don't think.
Like she had never been in the house with the contestants before, right?
It's always at the start of the season. She walks the house.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
No other interactions. The two must not touch.
So this was incredible. And really, I was so impressed because she I don't know if there's a teleprompter in the backyard, but she went right to and did the whole thing and butt first. And they did it perfect. Like she's with Aysha, like Jeff Probst, that she's out there just hosting the competition in the middle of the backyard.
Westworld.
Just so good. I am impressed by Julie Chen. And I literally audibly said, when he opened the door, I said, oh my gosh, she's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What a surprise. This was
cool.
Yeah.
Also, I thought it was very funny that they had the whole first competition about what she was wearing. It was oh, you should have been paying attention.
You should have been paying attention. And now the mastermind, so evil, cloned Julie Chen Moonves's voice and then made her say fake things in all the different rooms to give away the clues. I believe this actually was one of the real things, though, that Julie said.
I don't wear all my bracelets on one wrist for just any old show.
Yeah, I don't wear all of my bracelets on one wrist for just any old show.
She was acting.
I would only do that for the premiere.
Yeah. Notably, when she was on the talk, she would wear one bracelet on one wrist and one bracelet on the other wrist.
Yeah. Is that something that you would do normally? This is a very special night. I'm going to put all of my bracelets onto one arm for this special night.
That's how you know it's a special night.
That's how you know. If you see someone wearing all their bracelets on one wrist, and then that's why you have to get your wrist strong.
Oh no!
But it's a special night.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Okay. But that was such a surprise. So wonderful.
I mean, smart on Zach's part for just noticing that Adrian hadn't gotten it by checking all the doors on the bottom. I was like, okay, well, I don't have to check those because he already checked it and he hadn't run over there. He only had to check 2 doors and he won.
He did it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that felt very lucky because I doubt that Adrian or Zach had any idea that she wore all of her bracelets on one arm. Like, if Adrian had happened to pass by that one and not get it, and I doubt he would have, then Zach's strategy would not have worked.
But was there any penalty for opening the wrong door?
I think if you locked it in and you were wrong, that you only had one lock-in.
Okay. All right. Well, that was one of our competitions. By the way, Zach won $10,000 for that. What the hell?
Okay, yeah.
We have a lot of money.
Can we talk about the disparity in prizes? Because getting $10,000 and then basically getting to choose who wins the first HOH are not the same.
$10,000 is like third place money in Big Brother.
I mean, true, but it's also a much bigger target and no game advantage whatsoever.
True, so you would rather get the name the 4 people for the first HOH than 10,000.
Yeah, we did. They are equal apparently because Taran chooses that one and is like, yeah, they're not equal, and we're like, yeah, the $10,000.
If I were there to be an influencer, I'd take $10,000 every day. If that were there to win the game, I would say, stay away from me, demon. No.
Yeah. You think it's you think Zach could be on the block potentially? I don't think Vince would put him on the block.
I don't think it's like awful, but it doesn't help you at all. All it does is now you've won a competition and money. And we've seen that has caused people to be targeted, especially in the early game, plenty of times before.
Well, okay, notably, was it Lori in Big Brother 5, Taran? But I think that she took money. That this was like, I didn't know I was going to get money. I just opened the door. I didn't take it from anybody. Like, who was it? Was it Kevin in Big Brother 19 that he did he took a bribe and that's how Paul came into the game?
People didn't know it was him. It was an anonymous thing.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis also was targeted very early on in season 10. Got very lucky that Brian overplayed his hand that week because it would have been Memphis because he won a car. It just, listen, again, it's not necessarily a death sentence,
right?
But it does nothing to help you.
You don't want to do anything that really helps you stand out from the crowd. So the fact that Zach wins money in front of everybody, probably a net negative. But for Big Brother, this is like a lot of cash. This is not a show known for randomly giving away money left and right.
Mm-hmm. Right. And maybe it did happen early enough to where people are going to forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see weeks from now, people remember that $10,000 Zach has?
Yeah, they'll just say, well, he has the money. He doesn't need this. Like,
there are some people that genuinely will be annoyed by this, the fact that he's already won some money. And it's a great way, if you want to get people to target Zach, it's a great thing to just be like, man, and he already won that 10K too.
And you know what? Vince is like, hey, $10,000, that's like 2 years salary for me.
Ava's like, hey, I'm broke as hell. Give me that 10K.
All right, we'll see for Zach. The second competition was kind of hard to follow along at home, where you had to match up that there was a secret HOH box. It was the Mastermind's lair. They did bring in the Mr. Beast trap doors, though.
Mm-hmm. They did look safer than the Mr. Beast trap doors, to be fair. It was much wider.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, everybody seemed to be fine. They all were standing there when they actually, I don't know how they did it, because Jimmy won the HOH and they were all there. So I don't know how they got them out of the trap door.
Where did they come from?
Really weird.
But Jimmy ends up being the person who wins that HOA, or so he wins the second prize, which then ends up being picking people for the HOH competition. Now, do you think that, Zach won a thing, he doesn't automatically get to play in the HOH?
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Like, he should have got like the ability to be the HOH.
No, it wasn't the
Just
HOH
10K.
relic.
Yeah, it's got to be the HOH relic. And then they got to blow up the Mastermind's hideout. And I was bracing myself for, like, all right, let me get ready for the most low budge explosion special effects that, like, my kids would do on CapCut, and see what's going to happen here. I was not expecting the cut to B-roll of an superimposed explosion in Fiji.
I legitimately thought they were kicking off a new preview for Survivor 49.
Yes.
Like
this season, get ready.
Yeah.
I trapped 16 people in a house in LA. Whoa, here we go.
Oh my God.
Incredible. Okay. I got to pick the people for the HOH competition. Jimmy was talking to the house. A lot of people were like, I'm good, Jimmy. I'm good. I don't want to be HOH.
I couldn't believe this.
That was shocking, because I feel like, okay, like we used to say a lot, like, don't be the first HOH, you put your target on your back, it's a bad idea. But then like halfway through the seasons or whatever, a while ago now.
That was like more than 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was like,
that used to be a thing.
They're 16 or something. Since then, it's been like, no, it's actually a good thing to be the first HOH, because you kind of dictate the season. And yes, there have been some crazy HOHs lately, but I do believe that, like, it's still such a power position. Like, you can automatically be in the room. Like, and that's the exciting thing. And that's the thing that, like, helps your game. And I don't see why everybody's fighting that.
Taran, I feel like you did so much work to get the word out. Like, you do want to be the first HOH. You get so much out of it. Did Frenchie ruin it?
I think this just continues to, I think it's a natural conclusion that people make that's wrong. That, like, you watch the show and you just think, like, oh, well, I don't want to stand out. I want to lie low. I don't want to make a target of myself. And you think that the right way to do that is by not being HOH. But we have seen that proven to just not be the case. And so whether you don't know the show at all, or whether you are a fan who just has, like, watched from home and you have, like, an idea of what you think you're going to do, you tend to just, I think, naturally come to that conclusion. And there is some validity to it sometimes. But for the most part, you do want to be either in power or close to power in that first week. It's so important. And in either one of those objectives, being one of the 4 people to play is huge for you, whether you win or not.
So we got the group of, it ends up being that it's what, Jimmy, Vince, Ashley, and who's the 4th?
Jimmy,
Vince, Ashley, and
Adrian.
Yes. Okay. And we get the reindeer games, balance the weights.
Yeah, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was nice to watch.
Like, it's fine. I'm glad that it's something that everyone can do, like at least. But yeah,
not seemingly everyone.
Well, I mean, you
it's possible anyone could do it.
Yeah, it's presumed that you could all compete.
Yeah. Okay. And those are our comps. Vince ends up being the HOH, and then ultimately we get all of our business with Rachel and learning about the accomplice, and then the cliffhanger going into Sunday night.
What a twist.
What a twist. We have your questions still to come here tonight, but let me just tell you about what's coming up here in these next couple of days here on Robin's Podcast, because we're all getting back into the Big Brother schedule. I can tell you, here's what's going to happen tomorrow. Typically, Taran and I will have the BBQ&A and talk a lot about the new HOH and what's going to happen and all of that. But we're going to actually wait a week to go full on Big Brother on the Q&A. I haven't done a Q&A since I have been back on the podcast. And so I'm going to be live tomorrow at 3 p.m. taking questions and answers, or I'll take questions and I'll give you the answers. 3 p.m. We could talk about Big Brother. We could talk about so much, whatever you want to talk about. I'll be limited about what I can say about things that I've been up to, but you can ask whatever you want, and I'll tell you whatever I feel like telling you, okay? Then Sunday night, we'll have our recap podcast, and then we'll be live after the episode on Sunday night, and then we will count down the hours till the live feeds, when the first live feed update will happen Monday morning at 11 a.m. Taran will be with you to talk about everything that he's seen since the feeds came on some 9 hours earlier. And so be there for that. And then on Monday night, the BB Roundtable moves to Monday nights this season. And so join the Roundtable to talk about everything that is going on in terms of the week that was. And then on Tuesday, for the patrons, Chappelle and I will bring you the slop, and that's going to be patrons only. We can't put it in the main feed. We get too many complaints. So that is going to be on Tuesday night. You can get that all on our Patreon, the Q&A and the slop, that is, and all the other fine patron shows we have for you at robswebsite.com/patron. Okay. All right. We got some questions from the audience, and let's see. Who does Vince nominate? We haven't talked about that.
Feels like he just would go with the majority, and we don't know what the majority is at this moment in time, but I think not Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
I think any dynamics you saw pre-Rachel are likely not going to matter, because I think that Rachel shakes the whole structure up, any structure that was even beginning to be built. So I think it's really going to depend on like who is siding with Rachel and who potentially is not, to be honest.
Yeah. Who in the cast do you think are Rachel's people?
Amy?
I was going to say maybe Amy, because they're both moms. They can bond over that. They both seem kind of like high energy, and like they could be fun. Now at the same time, that could be a total clash. Like it could be one of those things where it's like they don't mix, but it did seem like they might connect. So
Lauren seemed super pumped. She was like so excited to see Rachel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I could see where she has Amy, and then I think also like the younger women, I think also could like gravitate towards her.
Actually,
maybe Ashley.
One Wolf in the chat just said Rachel being added makes a women's alliance more likely.
Oh, that is possible.
make a girls' alliance, and Rachel and her bond, and then the other people are interested. Like, I could absolutely see it. This could be the year.
This could be it. And Rachel would love that. If she could be the person to do it.
Well, Rachel would actually have the pull to make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, of the men in the house, are there any men in this house that you feel like that would be good potential allies for Rachel?
I think Keanu actually could work with. I mean, one of his favorite moments was a Rachel moment. He's a big fan. He's such a big nerd as well that like, and like such a goofball, it seems, that I think he'd really potentially get along with Rachel pretty easily. Other than that,
yeah, I think
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah. What about Adrian? A big super fan?
Definitely possible.
Yeah.
It's so hard to
depends.
tell. You just like don't even know these people at all. Like it
depends.
Like
on
I
his
feel like
approach.
and it always is shocking. Like you see the people on the premiere night and you're just like, okay, I think I know who these people are. And then you see them on the live feeds and you're like, who are these people? Like this is not at all like what they were like on premiere night. So you end up learning a lot more about them.
I mean, like if Adrian gives Rachel any whiff of like Matt Hoffman, like he's in trouble.
Okay. How about, I got this question. This is from Molly, who says, okay, here's my question. Has Rachel survived without any protection? Like Paul with the friendship bracelets, Buddy, Dan, etc.
Who's to say that she doesn't have protections? Like,
Do we think that Rachel will be able to be nominated in week 1?
No. They'll say, oh, she wasn't eligible for HOH, so.
I believe Suri was eligible to be nominated, right?
I thought because she
oh no, you know
came in
what?
late.
The noms were. She was eligible to be re-nominated, I think.
Yeah.
But
because
the initial nominations were decided by the competitions. So she had like safety from initial noms, but not renom, I think. I mean, from my perspective, the first and maybe only thing that they did for Rachel here is this whole accomplice situation, where I do think that Rachel is basically immune to suspicion. And the fact that there's like a witch hunt for somebody that is not Rachel, I think is great for Rachel. It gives her a little bit of extra space to not have the spotlight on her. But apart from that, who knows? They didn't say anything, but they could absolutely say something when it comes time for nominations of like, she's immune from initial noms.
But Taran, we think that Rachel is immune to suspicion, but it doesn't mean that these people are logical and that they are going to say, but what if she really is?
The only way they actually are suspicious of Rachel is if they are already not getting along with Rachel and don't want her there, I think.
Okay.
Which is that possible? No.
Certainly, anything's possible. Expect the unexpected.
True.
Okay. All right. This is from Oliver. If they don't ID the accomplice, do you think that they will reveal who it is to the house? Yeah, on the finale.
Yeah, that'll be the big reveal on the finale, and Julie will reveal it like at every eviction.
Yeah,
because there's no reason not to nominate them.
At the finale, Julie will be, all right, house guests, the accomplice. Is it time? So, accomplice, please stand up. And
everyone will be like,
oh!
Yeah. And us watching at home, we're going to be like, oh, yeah, they did do an accomplice.
Yeah, remember that? Remember the accomplice?
Oh, yeah, that was a thing.
Okay. All right. This is from Steffers. Did they know that they were the accomplice before they did their interviews? I can't imagine Adrian saying that all that if he thought there'd be a chance he'd be gone in 3 days. Oh, he would. He would say it.
Yes. He'd say it anyway.
He would still say it.
I do think they are likely to have known by the time they did interviews. It's more likely than not to know.
But do you think they would give it away potentially?
No, obviously they wouldn't. They would not be saying anything
because they weren't cutting anything from these people's interviews.
They left in everything.
They were sometimes cutting in the middle of sentences. So
maybe
I think it was like to like fit into different answers, but it just like didn't make any sense. It was bad.
Okay. Here's a tough question for the panel. Most likely showmance from Nicholas.
Is
Mickey and
Keanu
Riley.
single?
I believe he is, but I
Yeah, I
think
think
he was
he is.
Team Nomance, he said.
Whatever.
It'll be Mickey and Riley, and it'll be Zach.
Can you imagine? No.
It'll be Zach and
Are we
Lauren.
shipping Miley?
Oh, that's a cute thing. I'll ship it because of that.
I mean, Zach is obviously interested in Lauren.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Ashley and Keanu.
I think that's possible.
Yeah, I think that's possible.
Okay.
I think there's
3
potential
right
for
there.
a lot of showmances, yeah.
Yeah. Taran, when the feeds come on, what's your prediction? How many showmances are happening?
When the feeds come on, it'll be day like 5, night 5. I think we have like a hint of one showmance.
Yeah. Well, it used to be back in the day, the house guests, like, they would know nothing about the game, but they would be so smart about, like, hey, live feeds aren't on. Let's do it. Like, they would know. They would know literally nothing and not even how the game works, but they would know, like, hey, we can hook up now.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's safe.
listen, Rachel herself is well known for her manipulation of the live feeds.
Okay. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe there'll be like showmance season. We'll find out about.
Summer of Love.
Summer of Love. That's right.
Fun.
Yeah.
Love that.
We love love. Okay. Josh asks, do you think that the bunk beds are going to affect the game side of things in any real way?
Someone will be hidden back in a bunk bed and someone won't know they're in there, and then they'll talk about them or reveal something. Boom. No, but I was going to ask you guys, like, what bed would you choose if you were, I remember, like, now that the layout's a little different, like it's different, but I remember there were like certain ideas of like, oh, you should be in that middle room so that you can see who goes in each room. But I think I would like to be in the bunk bed room.
Yeah,
That's where
never
I
be
would
in the
go.
middle room. The middle room is a trap. The seeing people move around is worthless. Having a private space for you to bond
hang
with people
and be like, oh, I'm just in my room. I just want to be in my bed. Yeah, I would want to be in one of those bunk beds, just right up there. Be that.
Do you want to be
person
top
bring the
bunk or bottom
information.
bunk?
Top bunk.
You want to be top bunk?
Mm-hmm.
You want to be top. I have to be bottom bunk because last thing I need to be doing is like jumping down in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom.
Don't think about your comfort. This is a game.
Oh, so you feel like if you're top bunk, you can hear more things?
I think that people, like, you can be more hidden in the back of the bunk and like under a blanket, and no one will know you're up there, and they'll reveal stuff.
But here's the thing: if you want to hang out in that room, if you're top bunk, that means that like somebody's gonna have to be sitting on a bed that is not yours. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't be hanging out on the top of the bunk with somebody else sitting in a chair down below, which means that you might have to be sitting down at a lower bunk, but then that's somebody else's bed now.
But I'll tell you, Felicia can't cut her toenails if you're on the top bunk. Sari would have killed for the top bunk.
No,
Okay.
if Sari was on a top bunk, she would have gone up on the top bunk with Sari and then cut her nails.
Okay. Do you think that Rachel will be anti-showmance? That's from Olive. I think that like when Boston Rob came back, he's like, hey, I'm always looking for people to have a showmance.
She knows how powerful it can be.
Yeah.
It's that, or
Gotta break up Matt and Andrea.
she can use it to her advantage to be like, look at me and Brendan. Like, of course I love love. Like she could be the third, or not just, the immediate third, but she can use it to her benefit.
Mm-hmm. All right. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And one other question. Andy wants to know, will Janky be back at some point this season?
No, Janky's dead.
Janky's dead. Ainsley killed him. Although did he get reborn in the finale? Did he have did he come back to life?
Oh yeah, they all
And what color was he when he was reborn? I don't even remember.
Was he red?
Was it red, perhaps?
Was he red?
Was it
Is
red?
Janky actually the mastermind?
Janky and Ainsley
Mhm.
merged.
Okay. Boy, we're really building a real like rogues gallery Suicide Squad between the Nether Gorgon, Ainsley, Janky, the Mastermind.
It's horrible.
Like, what the hell? It's all the last like what the 3 seasons. You know, back in Big Brother 24, all we had was Daniel Durston.
They're really building this world.
Yeah, building up this BB Comicverse.
Just end the season already.
That was such an iconic ending to that episode. Like, come on.
All right. Let me see. Sam, you got anything else coming? We're having so much fun over on Chat BCC. We got so many alumni over there talking about Big Brother. Go to robhaswebsite.com/VIP chat. We actually crashed Chat BCC earlier tonight. There was too much going on.
Yeah, I couldn't get on.
I know.
Yeah. Wait, is Rachel in there?
Rachel is in there.
In the house and in Chat BCC.
It doesn't make sense. I was asking Rachel, like, how are you in 2 places at once? I think it was Brendan.
What?
I think it was Brendan posting on Chat BCC as
How
Rachel.
Is that even possible? That looks
I don't know
like
if he will
Rachel.
continue the charade or if it will claim that it's Rachel posting on Chat BCC from the diary room.
Bizarre.
Okay. All right. And of course, we'll talk about all of that and much more all week long here on RHAP. Taran, what's coming up for you?
Well, Rob, small addition to the schedule this week. I have managed to convince/blackmail Stephen Fishback into watching tonight's Big Brother premiere.
Wow. Okay. How'd you do that?
By saying that I would help market his book.
Yes. Okay. Well, you two, my friends have books out, and I'm so glad that you are combining your forces.
Yes. So Stephen Fishback, not a Big Brother watcher.
Has he ever seen an episode of Big Brother?
I do not believe so.
Unclear.
He has watched tonight's premiere, and we will be talking about it hopefully tomorrow. And I'll try to sell Steven on Big Brother and see how that goes. I thought we had a lot of fun last season talking to the jet lag guys when they checked Big Brother out. So I think Steven will be very fun.
Okay, that'll be great. So check that out coming up. When is that? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow is when we would like to record. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Be on the lookout for that. And then we'll get back together Sunday night to talk about everything that's going on. Melissa, what's coming up for you?
Just the roundtable. Very exciting. And you can find me on social media at It's Melissa with 3 A's.
How do you feel about your draft team, Melissa?
Good.
Yes. Wait, who is it? Ava
and
Zach?
Will and Zach.
Okay.
I feel fine.
Yeah. Pretty good. Okay.
So far. I mean, like, there's not really much to know yet, but yeah, we'll see.
I mean,
and then
your
Aysha
team is already 10K ahead of anyone else.
Yeah, my team's actually really rich, so it's fine.
Is that what we should draft? Like also like a total money one. So really, I think if you get the winner, I think it's still you can't catch them. All right, Aysha, what's coming up for you?
Yeah, y'all can follow me on all social media at Aysha like Aysha. That's AYSHA like ASIA. We just wrapped up our coverage of The Ultimatum, Queer Love, Mary Kukowski, and Evie, and we had a great time over there. So if you have caught up on The Ultimatum, Queer Love on Netflix, go listen to our podcast coverage. We had a great time talking about that. And follow me and Jason, A Perfect Match Podcast, on Instagram, A Perfect Match Podcast.
Okay. This was so fun to be back for Big Brother Thursday. We got to wait a couple more days to see what happens on Sunday night, but we will be back with you then. I'll be with the patrons on Friday afternoon, taking your questions at 3 p.m. We've got the link going out on Patreon at robhaswebsite.com/patron. Thanks so much for joining us. Take care. Have a good one. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.